Disney. Movie opens up on 39 seconds of space porn. Hey, look, it's the ship from the first movie. You can even see some of the name and everything. Quick question, after an explosion like this, why does all the wreckage sit in this one place? Apparently, floating space wreckage acquisition is done by simply letting the wreckage fly into your ship and allowing your Justin Jefferson 3000 to catch it when it enters. Isabella Merced is in this? My Dora the Explorer vs. Alien fanfiction is finally becoming a reality. The music here is very beautiful and haunting, and it is a discount also sprach Zarathustra. Excuse my perfect pronunciation. Amazing! They found a completely preserved xenomorph from, let me remind you again, a ship that exploded like this.
Maybe it's because I'm on this seafood diet. Seafood, I eat it.
It's so bad.
You always laughed at that one.
Yeah, when I was 12.
Movie expects me to believe that this pun-loving android hasn't used this pun since she was 12. I don't know whether this colony is just one of many colonies/towns on a large planet, or if this one colony is supposed to represent the whole planet. But in case it's the latter, I'll say this. Okay, so this colony is only 382 trillion miles from Earth. Hyperdrive doesn't exist. I'm sure that living in a place with no sun and no natural resources means that getting supplies is simply a matter of getting a subscription to Amazon Prime.
You gonna get a horse?
I want to call it reindeer. Do you get it?
I do not, and I have already tired of this sister synthetic brother shtick less than 10 minutes into this movie.
Where are your parents? They died 3 cycles ago.
This lady is asking questions that seem to be more designed to help the audience learn about Rain's backstory than anything a professional would ask when determining whether or not an employee has completed his or her contract. Space bullies.
I'm resetting you.
Yeah, but why does resetting him fix the harmful effects of him bleeding? Holy sh**. Is this guy playing Atari 2600 Pac-Man?
The hauler picks up this beacon, so Navarro tracks it, and it turns out there's this big Wei ship drifting right above our heads.
And if you're waiting for the movie to explain how this group of kids found out about a large abandoned vessel above them and no one else discovered it, well, you'll be waiting a long goddamn time, because the movie doesn't explain it.
And the hyperlink shows that ship still has a few pods left.
I'm sorry, did you say the hyperlink shows that the ship still has pods left? As in, it's a website where you can click on stuff to find the inventory of decommissioned ships? Can't you just say you hacked in?
He's used Andy.
Andy.
He's a Weyland-Yutani synthetic.
Which makes you wonder, how does Rain even have access to Andy? Weyland-Yutani does not strike me as the type of company that would just let a random woman working in the mines have access to their tech, not to mention that he's a potential security risk. We're this far into the future and still haven't come up with a better way of checking for poisonous gases than subjecting an innocent bird to them. Because nobody in the audience knows how this corporate-controlled outpost works, these people can hop into a ship and fly into space without anyone at Weyland-Yutani asking questions.
Alright, starting her up, batteries on.
Can you guys just go ahead and fly up there without showing us all the pre-launch? Thanks. Be a dear and get the f*** on with it.
They say Vaga has the most incredible sunsets. I've seen them in my dreams.
So then you haven't seen them?
What do I put this on for?
So you don't freeze your balls up?
Man, you gotta stop obsessing about my balls, man. It's unhealthy.
Keep talking about chocolate.
This conversation is, well, balls.
Guys, it looks like we're in 0G.
And looks like this movie doesn't understand there is never just one mouse. So since this shaft doesn't have several mice floating midair, this is a shaft of lies. Not to be confused with 2019's shaft, which weirdly enough was also a shaft of lies.
Wait, what's that?
Gravity generators. When offline, they still purge themselves every few minutes.
Gravity generator foreshadowing is my second least favorite foreshadowing. Just below chinchilla foreshadowing and just above Tony Danza foreshadowing. Hey guys, let's build a ship where there are these access points, but let's make the apertures open and close like sharp, murderous, angry buttholes.
Thank God there's still some power left in this relic.
You mispronounced convenience.
Pods don't have enough fuel.
What do you mean?
Not trying to poke fun at Rain's intelligence, but I don't think there is more than one way to interpret Tyler's comment of pods don't have enough fuel.
They're loaded up for 3 years in stasis.
Yeah, but it takes 9 years to get to your Vaga, mate.
And look, I know we're supposed to think Bjorn is kind of dim, but when Tyler said,
Pods don't have enough fuel.
right after he asked,
Oh, what's the problem?
there is absolutely no point in him reminding everyone of the obvious reason why 3 years of fuel is a problem.
Okay, strong reading. Must be a cryo depot nearby.
I think a storage of cryo fuel would be somewhere around the pods, considering how important they are to the mission and shit. But hey, whatever gets you to the alien part of this Romulus is fine by me, after I give it a sip.
So Synthetic made the call to seal them with Bjorn's mom still trapped inside.
Synthetics can't harm humans.
Sacrificed 3 miners to save a dozen.
The synthetic was applying knowledge gained from a thought experiment called the mommy problem. I need a scene in this movie where the executives from Weyland-Yutani came up with the mandate that their cryosleep pods be shaped like the corporate logo. You know, Alien Romulus could have just had Kay already tell Rain she was pregnant. The audience didn't have to find this tidbit out through Kay vomiting.
The station is divided into 2 halves.
Corporate video's position. I know that saving Bjorn from falling is Andy's top objective here, but it seems like he could have offered some communication while lunging this aggressively towards him.
I don't think there's any pods in here. No, it's cooling equipment. Uses the same type of fuel, though.
Convenient cooling equipment conveniently using the same fuel that the conveniently stranded cryopods use is convenient.
This module is still working. I can try to transfer its credentials to Andy.
Sierra Entertainment presents Roberta Williams' Alien Quest 4. Navarro willingly shoots x-rays into her unprotected body. Future finally made raw, unfiltered x-rays safe so that things could look cool.
Brain, did I do something wrong? He's just frozen up.
He's just rebooting.
You know, in the most horrifying way imaginable. Not surprised to find out we're on a Weyland-Yutani vessel with a ton of face-huggers on board, because that's why we have an Alien movie. However, since Romulus takes place before Aliens, doesn't it kind of make the whole rescue mission to LV-426 kind of pointless? This movie is flat out saying the company already knows about the aliens before any of those events take place, and Weyland-Yutani makes a huge deal about Ripley destroying their expensive spaceships because they didn't believe her story.
I'd not know what this creature is or how to remove it safely. But there's someone in this room who might.
The movie couldn't just give Andy all of Rook's knowledge after inserting that module, which would have made all the sense in the world.
You don't help her, you run.
Discount Ian, holy shit, what the f is that? The first time I watched this, I spent the whole movie thinking this was Ash from the original Alien. This particular Ian Holm model apparently died almost exactly like Ash did, and you can't expect me to remember every single f***ing ship or outpost in this series, or to have any common sense, so go f*** yourself, Alien knowers.
What's gonna grow out of her?
I'm glad you guys put me next to this mouse on the console so I can demonstrate this dramatically. Also, I'm not exactly sure what Rook did here. He grabbed this mouse and then I guess he turned on this light on the next floor above the ceiling where it looks like the alien's acid blood made a hole. That makes sense. You never know when you might need to control the lights on the upper floor from this computer console.
Of the 7 crew members aboard the USS Nostromo, only 1 survived, blowing the creature out of the airlock. 170 days ago, our search came to an end, and the body of the xenomorph was brought on board.
Yeah, but you guys found the alien near the Nostromo wreckage, which was blown up far away from where Ripley was flying her ship when she blew it out of the airlock. And that doesn't explain why the alien was encased in goddamn carbonite when you found it. Also, how would Weyland-Yutani know that Ripley blew the creature out of the airlock or has even survived? According to Aliens, Ripley was floating in space for 50 plus years, which would be a good 30 years after this movie takes place.
I sealed the station back up, but it was too late.
Hey, shut up! Nobody cares about your ship anymore.
Hold up there, Bjorn. We'll handle the skips around here. Now, what was I saying? Oh yeah, skip!
I'm sorry, but we can't let her back on the ship.
Instead of immediately saying Navarro could have an alien life form that will soon come out of her body, Andy decides to dance around the subject, which is a tactic more for the audience than the characters in this movie. And we've seen a goddamn alien movie before. We know that shit is coming out of her chest, so quit being a secretive dick to your family and friends, Andy. Why the f*** do they have a vertically closing door while the next one closes horizontally? Did the manufacturer run out of one or the other? Did the Mystery Science Theater guys build this? Thankfully, Navarro stole the handheld x-ray machine. It's as if she knew she would need to see for certain if she had a baby alien trying to punch out of her sternum. Also stealing. Is it my fault or Mel Brooks' fault that every time an alien exits a human's body, I want to see it singing Hello My Baby? The hauler miraculously crashes into an accessible hangar bay and is still flyable after this.
T-minus 47 minutes to impact event.
It's good to hear the computer give a sudden update on the impact event at the 47-minute mark after staying quiet about that shit the entire time they've been here. And yes, I realize it could be because the window of time went from 36 hours to 47 minutes after the crash, but you'd think the computer would want to tell you about something happening in the next 2 days.
If we raise the temperature in the room to match our bodies, would that make us invisible to them?
I saw this concept in a movie called Sneakers once. Worked for them. Might as well work for us. Why did the alien that came out of Navarro choose to leave Kay alone while she was unconscious?
The hallway temperature is now equal to your bodies, so the creature should not be able to see you. But stress, fear, panic will spike your temperature and you'll be exposed.
And opening the door will change the temperature in the room almost immediately. And yet Andy doesn't seem to have figured that part out. And Andy should f***ing know that shit. Okay, we have to censor this. This is just straight up pornography.
The needle with the red button. There's a key to 5.
There's not a key. There's a key, Charlie.
The fact that this electronic door even needs a physical key like it's a 1985 Camry.
Run.
This works. Awesome! I sure am glad the Renaissance kept up the habit of oiling the floors regularly.
Access denied.
Wow, why is the ship suddenly being a dick about forbidden access? You could simply not open, face. You don't have to tell the whole ship that I don't have the street cred to enter.
I'm afraid I have a new directive to do what's best for the company.
I need to remove that module.
Okay, I get that Andy's new directive isn't what's best for their particular needs necessarily, but he was correct that if they opened the door that the alien would have run in and slaughtered them all, right? I guess I just need a more clear-cut case that Andy's new directive caused him to do something more sinister than solving another trolley problem.
All personnel require A1 security clearance.
We're telling you this now after you've gotten into the lab to make sure you feel really bad if you don't have that clearance and think about what you did.
Probably some up bioweapon, I'm sure.
Actually, quite the opposite.
Tonight, the role of Dr. Zola will be played by the ones and zeros that reconstructed Ian Holmes' 1979 face.
It's all one unforeseen tragedy after the other.
Mankind was never truly suited for space colonization.
Rook told Andy to
Tell them what I told you.
but what Rook really meant was to do the back and forth expositing that they had clearly already practiced.
Inside the parasitoids I bioengineered from the xenomorph's DNA, I discovered a unique non-Newtonian fluid.
The Alien franchise has done a good job exploring evil corporations advancing science at any cost to make the big bucks, but it feels like, since the last time we saw them, Weyland-Yutani got bought out by the Umbrella Corporation. Oh, so this lab where they do experiments with DNA and shit has a fucking arms locker, but the place where all the facehuggers were incubating, no such luck.
See? Aiming assistance.
Also known as convenient gun thingy feature.
You mustn't fire a single one. Acid for blood, remember?
Andy's going to say what the gun's purpose is in a second, but I don't understand why he let them believe that they'd be shooting the alien before explaining the plan first.
So what's the point in giving us the guns?
Because the creature may see it as a threat.
For a character that is supposed to be otherworldly intelligent, that is maybe the dumbest reason I've heard for anything in this franchise. And I'm including the Alien vs. Predator movies. Just before this stairway, there is a switch that turns on some lights. The kind of lights that illuminate one at a time, aren't bright enough to be super useful, and are only there to create a cinematic reveal. Also, we have now hit the point of an Alien movie where it wants to show me their breeding ground, and all I can see is a bunch of shadows, lumps, and vague spine-looking things. I guess I'll just take the movie's word for it that this is bad. Kay is still alive.
Maybe that's why she hasn't been implanted yet.
How do you know?
There's no dead parasitoid by her feet.
That's good sleuthing and all, but have we not seen those facehuggers run off after planting their seed in someone before? I wonder what the alien protocol is for who they impregnate and who they just straight up kill. Tyler seemed like a good candidate for fatherhood. Maybe chill on the murder boner next time, random alien.
I need you to take this and get into a cryopod. An autopilot will fly you back to our colony. Can you do that?
No, she can't do that. She's been bleeding nonstop for 20 minutes. She took a nasty fall out of the hauler and she's pregnant on top of all that.
What about you? I'll find a way back.
I mean, sure, it's not like the station is about to crash into the planet's atmosphere and explode or anything. Why does Cable leave Rain?
You'll die in air. That's not in the best interest of the company or mine.
After all that has happened and been discovered on this station, why does Rain think Weyland-Yutani would give two fucks about Andy's well-being? Good of the alien to wait to attack while Rain got Andy back to normal.
Son of a bitch!
Wasting ammo on this.
I read a great book about zero gravity.
I just couldn't put it down.
Rain has a Dr. House moment
Turning off the gravity generator.
when Andy tells this extremely well-timed dad joke. Also, if Rook has control of the ship, why is she able to turn off anything? Rain and Andy will float through all the acid blood and survive with barely a scratch on them. That is all the bullshit.
Andy, you okay?
Andy, are you okay? Andy, are you okay? Are you okay, Andy?
When do you get to the elevator? The elevator won't work without gravity.
Lady, you said...
When do you get to the elevator?
You didn't say we needed to get to the elevator shaft and then fly like Superman. Admit it, movie, you just wanted to look smart, didn't you? Alien Tail Ex Machina, which for the record is my second least favorite Ex Machina. Falls right under Dirty Laundry Ex Machina and right above Tony Danza Ex Machina. I've got to admit, though, this movie is pretty damn awesome. They put a lot of thought into their set pieces, and it shows. Andy has the gun, shoots the facehugger, and then unloads into the final alien in the elevator shaft. And all I have to ask is, how the f*** does this gun have enough ammo? When she shot all the aliens at the breeding ground, Rain shot everything until there was a single flashing light indicating it was nearly empty. Then she shot one more alien before flying in the shaft. I barely gave her credit for having enough to do that, much less Andy being able to shoot this alien with vengeance.
Get away from her, you bitch.
Nice callback, but that means Andy said this first and not Ripley. You called back something that technically hasn't happened yet, and stepped on Ripley's iconic line. And of course, they get the ship moving at the same second the station is crashing into the atmosphere because movie's got a Galaxy Quest something.
What are you doing?
Change of plans.
If the ship was being piloted remotely by Rook on the Renaissance, I don't know why it matters if she puts it back into autopilot or not. In just a few seconds, the Renaissance is going to finish smashing into the asteroid belt, so he would not have been able to pilot it remotely anyway.
I'm afraid I must deny your petition.
Oh, I see. We wanted to have a throw the villain's words back in their faces moment. While the movie did this in a completely different way than every other Alien before it, this is still an alien gets on board the fleeing ship at the end of the movie cliche.
Get it away from me!
My guess is that this is the planned Dangers of Premarital Sex video coming to a red state near you. We got another alien-human hybrid, which means this movie took all the wrong lessons from Alien Resurrection. Look, I know this is supposed to be an abomination, an affront to God from the pits of hell, a creature born of hatred and violence. But does it have to be so gross? Dude, that's your mom! None of this alien acid backsplashes and sizzles through Rain's suit. I have no clue how this asshole managed not to fall out of the cargo hold. He was standing exactly where Rain was, and the acid made a giant hole in the floor.
I'll fix you.
Because what we were all looking forward to in the next Alien movie is to see whether or not Rain is able to fix Andy.
You're being clever, Commander. That is unworthy of a Romulan.
Love, where does it come from? Who lit this flame in us?
It's drinking the water! But how am I gonna get the money?
Money for what?
I would like to buy a hamburger.
They say Ivaga has the most incredible sunsets.
They say the f***ing smog is the f***ing reason you have such beautiful f***ing sunsets.
Gun, you okay? I think I shattered my abacus.
I know Kung Fu.
CinemaSins is feeding her oxygen to keep her alive. For what purpose, I do not know.
You have to be a genius to connect the dots.
That was it.
Stormtroopers? Here? We're in danger. I must tell the others. Oh no! I've been shot!
They have that acidy spit. I want that! Why not me?
Watch out!
Oh no, he died!
This is a cryolog for the mining hauler Corbellin. I set course to the Ivaga system without knowing if I'll ever reach it.
Even at maximum speeds, it would take 75 years to reach the Federation. And we'll be looking for wormholes, spatial rifts, or new technologies to help us.